You and many others have said that the United States risks falling behind if we don't modernize our financial infrastructure. And it's a very common argument that you hear these days, and it makes a lot of sense. In practical terms, what are we at risk of losing if we're too slow to act? And what does keeping up actually look like, either in the short term, medium term, long term?
So we have been, as Americans, we have been the beneficiaries of American dominance of the global financial system since the end of World War II. Our banks are the world's major financial institutions. They move an enormous amount of money around the globe. That money, for the most part, is the US dollar, which is used by countries to value and to settle major transactions around the world. And our financial institutions have been dominant in setting the terms. We were out in front of securities regulation in the 1930s before most jurisdictions, including Europe, caught up in the 90s and the 1990s. And so the influence of our financial regulatory structures had been the standard of the world. However, all of that is built upon a 20th century analog system. As modern as things are today, if I wanted to get $5,000 from here to London, sadly, it's still easier for me to go to the ATM, get the money out, put it in a suitcase, and get it on an airplane. And it would get to London faster than if I tried to send a wire and go through a lot of our financial infrastructure. And that's even more true once you go further out into the globe. So while we've enjoyed tremendous leadership in the old 20th century analog world, the world is changing, the technology is changing. And so we need to lead this new architecture if we're going to maintain our edge in terms of global finance.
We saw record breaking spending from the crypto related companies, individuals during the 2024 election cycle for both parties, but largely for Republicans and President Trump. What do you make of that growing influence of digital asset firms and the advocacy groups in federal races? And what do you think that impact might have on policymaking?
So it's really interesting. Crypto was not political when we started looking at it in Washington in the last decade. I was very focused on crypto during my time at the commission from
Right.
2014 to 2019. And the divide in Washington wasn't between R's and D's in terms of their interest in crypto. It was really more generational. If you were to ask me, point somebody out and say, what do you think this person's opinion on crypto is? I could almost use a rule of thumb. If they were 50 and older, they were probably skeptical. If they were 30 and younger, they were probably open to it, and something in the middle.